Hi. I want you to know that evolutionists like to say that the reason why there are pretty creatures in this world, like peacocks, and butterflies, tropical fish, Halli Berry, Scarlet, Johansen, Kim Kardashian, is because their ancestors were attracted to beauty and valued the attractive nature of their mates. And to that I say, well, fair enough. However, when you start bringing up the certain flowers, the wonderful smells and beauty of something that didn't have the brains to attract pretty mates to create beauty, they'll say, well, it was animals and insects that made flowers attractive and the fruit sweet. The trees with the sweetest fruit got carried off by animals, so the trees of offspring could spring out and not choke each other. Of course, they stay clear from the prickly pear and the durian fruit. Prickly pear being prickly, durian fruit being prickly and stinky. And when you ask, well, when you start bringing up the attractiveness of caterpillars, the most famous being the monarch butterfly caterpillar, and ask them how that could have an attractiveness about it when caterpillars don't pick their mates, then their reasoning starts being challenged here, because there is no way a butterfly is going to think, I'm going to mate with that butterfly because it will produce the prettiest larva and chrysalis that hangs like a jade jewel with golden design. And they do. If you ever check out a monarch butterfly chrysalis up close, he'll have gold design on it. Or if you bring up the fact that the weaver bird, saying, I'm going to mate with that weaver bird because it will weave the best hanging nest. I mean, people, how does a weaver bird know that the mate it chooses will be able to weave a weaver bird nest? Have you ever seen a weaver bird nest? When you do, ask yourself another question. How could that nest, that type of nest, come about when the bird creating it never got to see its parents create that nest it was hatched in? Yet, such a pattern develops into its genetic code to create such an intricate nest. Evolutionists will then try to get you to not think of the weaver bird nest, and instead try to get you to back thinking about the beauty of toxic animals by saying, it's attractive because the most attractive just happen to be toxic. The beauty is the result of not being picked due to their toxicity. Animals just naturally, instinctively know that anything in nature with bright colors is toxic. Like the mimic octopus, knowing it so well that it even impersonates sea snakes and things like that. Or like weaver birds know instinctively how to build an incredibly fancy nest without ever seeing their parents building one. Well, they'll say that. And you know something? Hey, I'll even let them have that argument, even though, again, the weaver bird really seems to be the monkey wrench in the machinery of atheistic evolution. I'll say, okay, that's why poison dart frogs are the most colorful and most attractive of all frogs, because they are so incredibly deadly. How's that? But the thing that really, truly seems to be the silver bullet shot into the brains of atheism is the reality of male pattern baldness. There is just no logical reason for it. I mean, people, ask yourself, why? Why should the genetic code evolve in such a way where someone's hair follicle is supposed to produce a hair that falls out at, say, the age of 37 and not at 36, when the hormone dihydrotestosterone is present? The reality of male pattern baldness, or MPB, as I call it, goes completely counter to all that scientists tell us about the reality of beauty in nature. Why should such a program exist? Why should it exist when it detracts from someone's attractiveness? Do people in the process of balding look healthier to possible mates than a potential mate who isn't losing his or her hair? I never see a commercial to become bald. Yet a lot of men and women on this planet have a genetic program in their DNA to start losing their hair at certain ages. Especially if they're not Native Americans. They'll start losing their hair at certain ages, usually when DHT is begun to be manufactured. Some guy can be totally bald at the age of 18. Some can keep their hair, lose it gradually, and be bald totally, or balding at the age of 60. And with male pattern baldness, none of these programmed hair follicles can lose their hair until the production of DHT is present. And it's more complicated than you think. A hair programmed to fall out at the age of 38 can be exposed to DHT for 37 years. But it won't fall out until DHT is present when that person hits the age of 38, or 38 and a half. How do I know this? Because if you take two identical twins who are to be bald at the age of 40, and you castrate one at the age of 20, well, not only will he be very pissed, but he won't lose his hair. But the non-castrated identical twin will lose his hair gradually over the years till he's bald at the age of 40. Then, if you give a shot of testosterone to the castrated identical twin, he'll rapidly go bald and end up looking like his non-castrated, bald identical twin and really be pissed. So, people, what's this tell us? Well, I'll tell you what this tells me. It tells me that not only does this destroy godless evolution, but it elevates Jesus Christ, where Jesus Christ said, the very hairs on your head are numbered, thanks to the study of male pattern baldness and the total illogic of it. We now know that the very hair on your head is, as Jesus Christ said, numbered. It's numbered.